This evening you are in for a treat, a musical treat. My name is Nancy Pope. I am the coordinator for visual and performing arts for Richland One. This is my 19th year in the position, and this is one of my, even though I'm nervous, it's one of my joys to get to introduce these fantastic kids who I have been watching for 2 days become a unit, because they really only met a lot of each other 2 days ago because they're from all different schools. So I'm going to stick to my notes. I'd like to thank our students for their focus, commitment, and the commitment they've shown over the last 2 days of working with this particular group of young musicians, and our guest directors, who until yesterday they had never worked or played with before. I thank you, the parents and the family and the extended family, for your support. And I'd like to give a special thanks to the principal of Eau Claire High School, Nashenda Walters, and for Eau Claire High School, everybody that works here, for hosting us and making us feel so welcome in this beautiful facilities. Can we give Eau Claire High School a hand for that? Thank you. I'm skipping around a little bit, so I hope I don't forget this. As always, I give my great thanks and gratitude to all the school principals and administrators who are in our fine district, our great district administration under the guiding hand of our favorite alto saxophone player, Dr. Craig Witherspoon, and our board of directors as well. If any principals, administrators, or board members are here, I would love for you to just please stand and be acknowledged with our applause. Thank you. The good thing about my talk is it gives the rest of the people time to get to their seats. A few reminders, just housekeeping. The ladies' bathroom is up to the left, that way, whichever, right or left, that way, that's my left. The men's bathroom is to the right, outside of the theater doors. And we ask that you please turn off your cell phones because we want you to enjoy the music. And also, you'd like to know that this is being recorded by Richland One Communications, and sound and lights are being run by Richland One Theater Services. Our gratitude to them. If you would like to download the concert or watch it online in about a week or so, it has to be edited, but it goes up pretty darn fast. You can go to the Richland One homepage and find the link that says On Demand. On Demand, if you can remember that. I want it on demand. And that will take you to the whole concert, which you'll get to enjoy again and again. If I may brag for a moment, the band teachers of Richland One are an amazing, hardworking group of educators. This year, please, thank you. This year, 2 of our band teachers, Mr. Constanzo Bryant Martin at Sanders and Miss Brittany Sally at Alcorn, were named Teacher of the Year at their respective schools. And yes, Teacher of the Year. We're learning a lot of different things. And several others of our band teachers have been Teachers of the Years in the past. I'd like to give a special shout to Daryl Bird, the Creighton Middle School band teacher. As I know you're clapping, that means you're probably in the band boosters for Creighton, and he hosts the auditions for Honor Band every year for as long as I can remember. It's a 5-hour after-school marathon, including 35 adjudicators. So you can imagine the collaboration that it takes, and it means so much that he's willing to head that up, be a leader. Many of our band teachers use their own performing skills around all around Columbia. And this requires a lot of work, but they know that the best teachers have to keep practicing their craft. 2 of our band teachers are members of the South Carolina Philharmonic Orchestra, and in fact, one is not here tonight because he is performing with the touring show of Wicked. So his office is in the orchestral pit at the Koger Center playing for Wicked, which is pretty wicked, isn't it? At least I know you're with me. 3 of our band teachers are presenting next month at the South Carolina Music Educators Conference, and for a district to have 3 is a good thing. Our band teachers, you guys know this, are spouses, they're parents, they're caregivers of their own parents, yet they still manage to put in many hours beyond the school day. They just spent last weekend, as you probably know, at Region Band auditions. They will be at all-state auditions this weekend, and then they have weekend overnight trips for Region and all-state band coming up for those who make it. And that's just the next month. So they will prepare their students for district and state concert band performance assessment, which is actually a very important assessment, which only if they get a certain score at that event can they be given the highest state award for concert bands through the South Carolina Band Director Association. And we'll be getting ready for our jazz festival in the spring. So they will be preparing their students for the spring concerts at the schools as well. So these ladies and gentlemen spend all of this extra time not because they are hoping for extra compensation, and that's the words they gave to me. They do it because, quote, they love music and they love your children. So thank you. I would like to now hand the microphone over to my right-hand lady. She's been with me she's been my friend since day one in Richland 1, which I believe was July 1st, 1991. Yeah, a longtime friend and cohort and collaborator, the great teacher, Hand Middle School, District 1 lead band teacher. Please welcome Miss Mary Lou Schweikert.
Good evening. I'd also like to welcome you to tonight's concert. We would like to thank Nancy Pope and everyone in her office and all the administrators of Richland 1 for allowing us to have this event. It is so much more than just a concert tonight. The students started months ago preparing their audition materials, and for a lot of students, especially our younger ones, going through with the audition at Creighton was a huge character building experience. And then the students got here and spent 2 days working with amazing clinicians. If any of your kids tell you they didn't learn anything new, then they're not telling the truth, because they've been imparted with lots of knowledge and enthusiasm in the past 2 days. And then we hope that they will take that knowledge and enthusiasm back to their own band rooms and share it with other students who maybe didn't get into the honor band. So it is a very, very important event for our district, and we're very appreciative that we're allowed to do this each year. Before I introduce the students and their clinician behind me, I'd like to call out my colleagues, the other middle school band teachers of Richland 1, and I'm going to let them introduce themselves.
Good evening, I'm Brittany Sally from Alcorn Middle School.
Darryl Bird, Creighton Middle School.
Shantae Sims, Hayward Gibbs Middle School.
Pam Stokes, Hopkins Middle. I'm also introducing Shantas Edens from Southeast. She was in a car accident yesterday. She's fine. She came on stage, but we made her leave. But I'd like to introduce her also.
Good evening. My name is Cynthia A. Taylor, Band Director at William Augustus Perry Middle School. Thank you.
Good evening as well. My name is Costanzo Bryant Martin. I'm the band director at W.G. Sanders Middle School.
Good evening. My name is Tyrell James, Director of Bands at St. Andrews Middle School.
Good evening. My name is Chelsea Harris, and I'm student teaching at Hand Middle School.
So these are the folks that taught the kids how to open their case for the first time and then got them all the way to honor band, the middle school band teachers of Richland 1. The students on stage behind me are the 2020 Richland 1 Middle School Honor Band. They, of course, earned their places here through audition. They've been working the past 2 days with Dr. Amanda Schlegel. Dr. Schlegel is Assistant Professor of Instrumental Music Education at USC. That means she teaches the future music teachers in the world. And she has been a great friend of Richland 1. She was one of our clinicians last year at our concert performance assessment. We've had several partnerships with some of her classes and some of our students. She has arranged for student interns in many of our band programs. A great friend to Richland 1, and I think you're going to very much enjoy what she and the students behind us have worked on. Please welcome Dr. Schlegel.
Hi there. It is my very sincere pleasure to be here and to make music with your wonderful children and to celebrate music making here in the Richland 1 schools. I feel as if I'm a representative of the entire School of Music faculty when I say that we are here doing everything we can to make musical opportunities for every human being in the world, but most especially here in Columbia. We have opportunities for you to make music, whether you have infants or you're in your late elderly years, we have opportunities for you to make music. And let me just tell you a little bit why I'm so passionate about that. I think making music here with these students and making music in general, I think makes you a better human. And I don't just say that because I'm a music professor and people want me to believe that. I have evidence of that. We have actually researched data that suggests that when people are engaged in a task in which they are trying to do everything at the same time, that encourages greater empathy, greater pro-social behaviors towards each other, better kindness. Quite honestly, when I see a human being who isn't maybe being a very good human being, I say, that person needs to play in band. That person needs to sing in a choir. That human being would be a better human being if they would just make music with each other. That's what your kids just did. And even better, they did it with a bunch of people they don't know. And yesterday they walked in here, not knowing Mandy Schlegel, not knowing this music, and they sat in a room and worked incredibly hard trying to make music. What I think the end result is that your children up on the stage are just that little better at being good people. And I think that's important. And quite honestly, if you go home tonight and you turn on the news, you're going to hear a lot of bad things about what's going on in this world. Except I hope what you'll remember is all the great things that just happened on this stage. Because these human beings on this stage really could go out into the world and make it better. The problems we have in this world with people getting along with each other and listening to another opinion, these people can figure that out. They sat here and they figured out how to work hard, make great music with people they don't know. The problem solvers of all the problems we have in this world are on this stage. They totally could do it. So I encourage every single one of you to go make music somewhere. We will do that at the School of Music. You have something you want to make music somehow, we'll figure out a way for you to do it, no matter how old you are. We'll even teach infants. I have a member of my New Horizons band who is 82 years old, and my goodness, I love that woman. So let me tell you a little bit about the piece we just played. That was Pink Lemonade. It's a circus parade march, which a circus parade, if you actually wanted to see all of the things being paraded, means you probably can't have that march be all that fast. So that's a little bit on the slower side of a march, and it was actually a march originally written for the banjo. And so I find that that's a pretty unique march. It has a little bit of different composition in terms of the way that it's organized, so it's a unique opportunity for the kids to get to play that. And speaking of unique opportunities, the piece they're about to play is Interruptions by Stephen Bryant. Stephen Bryant is a very significant composer in the wind band arena, and what's really cool is that Stephen Bryant has written a piece at this age level. Our wind ensemble, our premier band at the University of South Carolina, is going to celebrate and play one of his most significant works in March. And actually, Stephen Bryant's going to work with us on this piece. We're playing this in the New Horizons band that I direct on campus. And we've invited every single one of these students to come to that event when we work with Stephen Bryant in March and meet him. And so not many of these, it's a really great opportunity for you to get to meet the person whose name appears in the upper right-hand corner. I'm a little jealous for them. I wish that had been my opportunity. The piece is called Interruptions, and you'll notice there are several really, I will say, maybe somewhat less than subtle interruptions, and there's some more subtle interruptions, but you'll notice how hard they work and how clever this piece is. It's the sign of the really great composer that Stephen Bryant is, and so I'm thrilled that your children have gotten the opportunity to play the music of someone so significant. This is Stephen Bryant's Interruptions. I often say to students, and when I'm picking music for concert bands, kind of festivals, honor bands and such, one of the things that I want to do, one of the things that I think my job is to have them have an experience that kind of stretches their ears, that kind of stretches them as humans and as musicians. And this is definitely a bit of an ear stretcher, as most definitely was Interruptions in many ways. The Brahms Lullaby, in many ways, is very prominent in this piece by Chris Barantis and Good Night. And what's going to tease your ear a little bit is you're almost going to hear little moments of the very famous Brahms Lullaby, but he won't come right out and actually write out that lullaby. Another sign of a really great composer who kind of teases your ear a little bit. And this is a piece that we definitely put in the folders as an attempt to make the kids more sensitive and be a little bit more nuanced, which is always something we're working on, even with the most advanced musicians, to have them be sensitive to the other parts and such. So we've worked really hard to put the baby to sleep in many ways. As Barantis writes, that this was definitely his motivation when he wrote the piece for his young child. It was as a consequence of wishing his child would just sleep. This is "And Good Night." want to say, first off, thanks to the kids. I had a conversation with a number of colleagues. I was at a conference last year, and a person was giving a very important keynote address about diversity and inclusion in music education and trying to make sure that we include as many human beings as possible. And she talked about not referring to kids as kids, but as pre-adults and adults. Although, I had a conversation with another colleague, and he said, maybe we should call everybody kids and post-kids. I tend to like that one personally. I tend to feel like a post-kid. But I do want to thank the pre-adults, or the kids, for all their hard work. I will tell you that they walked in here yesterday at 10 o'clock, and they walked in this morning at 10 o'clock, and I did not give them a break until noon, right? Yeah. It was like the longest class of their lives, and they played a lot. And what you're hearing tonight is certainly the result of their hard work. And I do want to tell you, I can't stand in front of human beings who are potential advocates for music education and not get a little bit on a soapbox, almost literally, about why I think what we do is important and why I get up every day. I don't know what's happening. Hi, Hannah.
We'd like to thank Dr. Schlegel for helping us for these past 2 days, and we would like to give her this plaque. It says, presented to Dr. Amanda Schlegel, an appreciation for your musical contributions to the Richland County School District 1 Middle School Honor Band.
Aw, thanks. You played very, very well. You should feel really good. Yeah. I had no idea that was coming. That was precious. Thank you. So back to my soapbox, which I promise I'll be succinct, or at least I'll try. There's lots of things that, as a musician, as a music educator, as a music maker and music advocate, that I would say to you about why you should be involved in music. Talked a little bit about that in terms of growing empathy and knowing that no society, no culture anywhere in even the most remote parts of the world has ever been found to not make music. One of the reasons that people hypothesize that that's the case is because of the social bonding that comes from that. Again, if people made music with each other, I think the world would be a better place. But all that to say, one of the neurological reasons that I think music making is so great, I hope many people in this room believe that music enriches your lives. Some people postulate that music makes you smarter. I don't know what smarter really means. What I will say music does teach you to do is recognize important sounds from less important sounds. There's data that suggests that your kids who are active music makers listen better. I know, right? Hold them to that they listen better than those who don't make music. That they're able to distinguish the important sound, like go clean your room when said by your mother, as opposed to the less important sound. I think it's one of the greatest things that happens to us as musicians, the bonding that we have, the great music making that we get to do, and that we've trained our ears to be very, very sensitive to sound. I think it's one of the things that is most beneficial from active music making beyond the social bonding and the creation of empathy and the being surrounded by great sound. I think your kids end up being more able and more ready to respect beauty, to respect nuance, to respect hard work, to respect excellence, and to seek it in their lives. It is my great hope that that will continue for them, that you'll encourage them to participate in active music making throughout their life. It is one of the greatest opportunities that we get to have as humans. We're closing the concert with a piece by Carol Britton Chambers that was very newly composed. I gave them the option to pick what they wanted to close this concert with. I did tell them, this is your concert, not mine. My parents are in Pennsylvania, so we'll get to play what you want for your parents. They chose, the vast majority of them, to close this concert with this great fun piece, Byzantine Dances, which is also definitely an ear puller. I hope you enjoy it, and I sincerely appreciate your dedication to your kids and to music making and to music education in the schools. It's been my sincere pleasure and honor to work with your children. Thank you.
Next up is our 2020 High School Honor Band, and I would like the high school directors to come out and introduce themselves to you. Soon.
Good evening. My name is Roger Wallace. I'm the band director at C.A. Johnson High School.
Good evening. My name is Jerry Robinson, and I'm the band director at Columbia High School.
Good evening. I'm Ernest Hemingway. I'm the director at Lower Richland High School.
Good evening. My name is Kevin Piner. I'm the band director at AC Flora High School.
Good evening. My name is Matthew Guffey. I'm a student teacher at Dreer High School.
Good evening. Garrick Rivers, Keenan High School.
Good evening. Daniel Goodman, Eau Claire High School.
It's not a very manly thing, but I wanted to give him a special gift for hosting us. He's done a lot of extra work. Mr. Daniel Goodman, Eau Claire High School.
Our high school honor band has been directed for the past 2 days by Dr. Jerry Gatch. Dr. Gatch is the director of bands at Newberry College. He's also a great friend of Richland One for a very long time, has been a clinician for our concert band performance assessment, and also done a lot of professional development for our band teachers. But the last few years, every time we had Dr. Gatch lined up to come do professional development, we had one of those, it wasn't a hurricane day, it was one of those hurrication days. And then the PD schedule got all changed around. So I've been checking the weather really carefully this week, but it worked out. So we got to have Dr. Gatch come work with our students. But prior to being at Newberry College, he was the director at Lexington High School for 20 years. So he is definitely the right person to talk to our students about that transition from high school band to college band. I walked through a rehearsal and heard that very talk going on. So not only that, but he's just brought wonderful skills in teaching these students a very challenging program, and I think you're going to very much enjoy it. Please welcome Dr. Jerry Gatch.
Thank you so much. It has been a great pleasure working with these students. Like Ms. Swackert said, we've been trying to work this out so I could get over into Richland 1 and do more fun stuff, and it just, every year it seems to not work out, but I'm so glad it worked out. That first tune you probably recognize if you don't even know the name of it. It's called National Emblem, and probably one of the most popular patriotic marches in all of the wind band literature, written by E.E. Bagley. And it starts out with the melody and the trombones, the same notes as our national anthem, so thus the name National Emblem. Really fun march, and I think while none of these students thought they had played it before, after we played it, they recognize it. You hear it in ceremonies and parades and things like that on TV, so it's been a fun thing to work up. Our next tune, I'll just tell you, these students didn't see this piece until right before lunch today. I laid in bed last night and thinking, they're playing all the pieces that I brought really well. Maybe I should put something else in the folder. So really early this morning, I went and got another piece of music. We passed it out because they'd worked so hard and accomplished so many things and a very difficult set of pieces here. We worked this up today. And it's a piece called Themes from Green Bushes, a Passacaglia on English folk song. And Passacaglia is just kind of the same melody over and over again, but it starts to get really developed and some variations in things, and it kind of gets faster and faster. It doesn't kind of get faster, it gets a lot faster and faster. So we've enjoyed working on, this is Themes from Green Bushes. Thank you. I always like to program something in a concert that's really, really pretty. You know, all music is pretty in some ways, but a lot of times, we get so caught up and we need to play stuff that's really hard and really fast and really high. And this one is a beautiful setting of the hymn tune, Abide With Me, written, arranged by Jay Dawson, a really great, talented writer, and he owns his own publishing company. But he incorporated a bugle call in this, and it starts with the bugle call, and it's interspersed throughout. Some beautiful harmonies and key changes, surprising key changes. But this bugle call is the British equivalent of taps. It's called Last Post. So very poignant and solemn kind of thing with this beautiful hymn tune. This is Abide With Me. Thank you. So the first piece we read yesterday at 10 a.m. was the hard one. Wanted to, if we could get through that, and then I knew we could get through the other stuff. And this is the piece we're going to play next. It's called Concert Variations by Claude T. Smith. And Claude T. Smith wrote so much music for not just school bands, but professional bands, professional orchestras, the service bands, just a great composer. So much literature out there by Claude T. Smith. And this is a substantial work. We've enjoyed working on it. It's got a lot of different variations of kind of the same thing that you hear at the beginning, but some really great solo work and ensemble work. This is called Concert Variations. Thank you. They have really risen to the occasion, and it's hard when you get picked to do something like this, try to decide what level of music to play. You don't know what kind of players we have, and I've got some really good players and some good players and some others, and it's just hard to pick music, but I'm so proud that they were able to get through that and perform it at such a high level, so I commend them. I will continue to commend them on their work, but I also want to thank the band directors and teachers in this district that are clearly doing a very capable and wonderful job teaching students not only how to play, but to love music. I really believe from the performance that I'm hearing, they're enjoying this. So thank you to the teachers. Appreciate all the work that went into making this happen. Ms. Schweikert and Ms. Pope and all of the band directors that contributed to providing this opportunity for these students. I know you as parents, I don't need to preach to the choir, we have to continue this kind of music education. It's not just good for music, but makes them better students. Like Dr. Schlegel says, there's so many spillover things that this activity benefits throughout the rest of their lives. And I would encourage you to help them remember the importance of continuing to perform and play. They're going to go to college, and very few people will major in music, but there are bands that will pay really good money to have you play in their ensembles in college. I'm one of them. And by the way, parents, all of the seniors up here have committed to come to Newberry College next year, so, we can talk later. But good money to play in ensembles, whether they're music majors or not. And I would encourage you to keep doing that and playing music and appreciating music for the rest of your life. This is something that I do a good bit, and I told the students, wherever I go, band students are the same. They do extra stuff. They don't have to be in band or choir or orchestra to get a diploma in South Carolina. They choose to do extra things, and they not only do it, but they do it at a high level. So again, thank you, students, for your hard work. We're going to finish our concert with a really fun piece. It's called Gallup by a composer named Gary Gilroy, and it's kind of fast, and the percussionists all have about 8 things to do each, so you might see some laps run back there, but they've got a lot of stuff to do, but this has been a really fun piece for us. Thank you for coming today, and thank you for supporting your students. This is Gallup. Oh, there's something else.
Before we start our last piece, I'd like to say on behalf of the band, thank you to Dr. Jerry Gage in appreciation for your musical contributions to the Richland County School District Band. Thank you for spending all the time with us.
Thank you. Great job.
job.